4, JP Cattle Company Trust versus Kyle Robelia and Deborah Robelia et al. Appearances here today, we have appearing in person, Ryan Benson appears with Mr. Moline, who I believe you would be the trustee of the trust.
I can't hear you.
Do you need a hearing device, sir? We have hearing devices.
You just speak up a little bit louder, that'd be great.
I can turn up the volume more. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's better. I just needed to turn up the room volume. We do have Kyle and Deborah Robelia appearing in person as well. We're set today in this matter on the motion for summary judgment filed by Mr. Benson for the trust. The court has reviewed the documents filed. Mr. and Mrs. Robelia have not filed any response to the summary judgment motion filed. Mr. Benson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, this matters before the court on a motion for summary judgment. Mr. and Mrs. Robelia did file an answer, but that did admit to all the allegations of the complaint, being that they were in default and they have not contested the amount due and owing. Likewise, they haven't filed any responsive pleadings to the motion for summary judgment, which would be required in order to contest today's hearing. The only other party that filed an answer was Clay Trittlewitz, and that was more just a notice of appearance, didn't actually contest anything here. So we're seeking a default judgment against all the defendants other than Mr. and Mrs. Robelia, and we're seeking summary judgment against Mr. and Mrs. Robelia in accordance with the proposed judgment I submitted. We are asking for a 30-day redemption period because this is their homestead. I believe it's their homestead, and so we're not asking for the statutory minimum of 7 business days, a little while longer of 30 days to give them time to pay off the land contract if they so wish at this time. But I think based upon the submissions made to date that the plaintiff is entitled to the judgment of strict foreclosure.
Sir, did you get all of that?
Did you get the last part?
I think so.
Well, maybe he does need a device, and then Mr. Benson, we're probably going to have to repeat that.
Sorry.
I'll get the microphone closer too.
That's better. A little bit better. Did you hear that?
I heard something there.
Goes over the ear. Press up to make it louder, press down to make it quiet.
Thank you.
Now, can you hear better, Mr. Robelia? Is it on and is it working?
Yeah, I can hear it now.
All right. Okay. So, Mr. Benson, I heard everything, and I believe Mrs. Robelia heard everything, but Mr. Robelia did not. So I'm going to ask you to please present your argument again.
All right, I'll do my best to hit the same point, Your Honor. So yes, at this time, the plaintiff is seeking a motion for summary judgment and default judgment. Mr. and Mrs. Robelia did file an answer to the complaint, but that answer did in fact admit that they were in default on the land contract, and they have not contested the amount alleged due and owing. They admitted to that in their answer to the complaint as well. They have also not filed any responsive pleadings to the motion for summary judgment, which would be required by them to do in order to make any issues of material fact. And then as the remaining defendants, only Clay Trittlewitz had an attorney file a notice of retainer. It wasn't an answer disputing anything. So we're seeking default judgment against the other remaining defendants in this case to have their liens removed of title. But I think based upon the pleadings to date, I believe it shows that my clients are entitled to a judgment of strict foreclosure in this case. As it relates to the redemption period required by statute, we're asking the court for a 30-day redemption period, meaning that Mr. and Mrs. Robelia will have 30 days in which to still pay off the land contract if they want to keep the property. This is their homestead, so we are not seeking the statutory minimum of 7 days. So we're requesting 30 days instead to give them more time to either pay it off or have the 30 days to move out of the property. And we've submitted a proposed judgment of strict foreclosure that does request the 30-day redemption period.
And I believe the total you're asking for is $26,705.71 plus interest at 5%.
Yes, Your Honor. Let me just find my proposed judgment here. Yes, that as of February 19, 2025, the principal and interest was totaling $26,705.71 plus interest of 5% thereafter. And in addition, adding to that, the attorney's fees and cost of $2,606.23.
All right, thank you. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Robelia, you have now heard their argument. And as I stated previously, when I called the case, I did not receive any response from either of you for the summary judgment motion and brief that Mr. Benson filed on behalf of the trust. And as Mr. Benson has stated, you did provide an answer, but the answer does admit to the being in default of the agreement, as well as admitting to what was still owed on the agreement. What do you want the court to know?
I've been unable to work. I had a surgery on my shoulder. They shredded my bicep muscle when I was working on their farm, or their son's farm, and had scar tissue. Anyway, no income. I just was approved for SSI, got my first payment this month. I have to have surgery again on the 17th of this month. I'll be down for at least a week again. I'm asking the court if we can have a longer redemption period because of that. Even to move south, I can't. It's kind of hard right now. And then I'll be, like I said, down. And right now I have bronchitis. I'm taking medicine for it, but right now I have bronchitis.
And so with the arguments made by Mr. Benson, you're not disagreeing with those arguments? I'm not
disagreeing with it. There's nothing I could do with no income coming in. So, I have income coming in now, but I don't.
Would you have the ability in a certain amount of time, redemption period, to even pay off the balloon payment or what is owed now?
It's possible, yes. I can't guarantee it. I can just say it's possible.
But we'll try.
But I don't know. You're not giving me dates.
I talked to loan officers, but that takes some time to get an answer.
45 to 60.
Okay. All right.
And even to move everything, I was actual farm there, a lot of farming equipment. It would take a long time to move it.
Thank you. Any rebuttal, Mr. Benson?
My only comment, Your Honor, would be is that this land contract came due November 1, 2024, so we're now 6 months out. So they've already had 6 months to try to get all of this going and nothing's happened. And now we're giving them another 30 days, or we're requesting another 30 days for the redemption. So it's basically they've had 7 months to figure this out, and I don't think they need any more additional time to that. But obviously, this is up to the discretion of the court, the redemption period.
Mr. Robelia?
With no income, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't, and not be able to work, I couldn't do anything. I understand what he's saying, but until this point, I had no income to do
Until April
anything.
3rd, he got,
How long did you work at Mr. Maline's son's farm?
About 1.5 years, 2 years, and after the injury, I was let go right away.
All right. Well, based upon the arguments that the court has heard today, the court does find that all defendants are in default, and the liens are removed from the title for all of the defendants. I do find that there is not only are the Robelias in default, but I am finding that the judgment requested is reasonable and is applicable in the situation. I understand the request from both sides with regards to the redemption period. And as Mr. Benson did state, and he did put it very thoroughly in his brief as it relates to the redemption period, that the minimum days is 7, but the court has discretion to allow a more lengthier redemption period. This has been going on since November 1st, 2024, but I do understand that you have had surgery. I would like to see you be able to buy the property. I think the Malines would probably like to see you buy the property and not be in default. With the surgery, I know you're going to need additional time to heal, and I don't want to like put that pressure on. I will extend the redemption period to 45 days. I'll cut it in the middle.
Thank you.
Because that gives you an additional time to go to the bank, and hopefully you can get that done in a quicker fashion. Hopefully you can take care of this in a quicker way and be able to heal and not have to move. But if you do decide that that's not the route you want to go, then you have a little bit more time to be able to move your property off of the real estate.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is, so the court is going to grant that strict foreclosure and grant the amount as well as the attorney's fees at a 5% interest rate.
And then, Your Honor, do you want me to resubmit the judgment, changing it to the proposed judgment to 45 days, or is the court able to do that?
I don't know if I'm able to do that. I don't think it was sent. Let me just see if it was sent in a Word.
It was in a Word
It was.
document.
If it is in a Word document, then I can do that. 25. The wrong one. For some reason, I am not finding it in my held box.
It'll be pretty easy for me to resubmit it when I get back to the office.
If you want to resubmit it, that would be great.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it's in my, it's probably in my sign. No, it's not even in my
In
sign.
your
box.
regular 2-sign queue, it looks like it was filed February 20th.
For some reason, I don't see it. I don't know why. Weird. Okay, well, if you can just resubmit it. Oh, there it is. I see it right there. I have it. It's right there. It's waiting for me to sign. So what I will do is I'm just going to change it, the redemption period to 45 days, and then everything else stands and we're good to go. All right.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you.